Hello guys and gals and welcome to Murel Plays. This week we are starting a brand new series, Darkest Dungeon. Now this game's been around I think a little over a year at this point. It's a game I've quite enjoyed and wanted to do something with, but I didn't know, and recently there was a few updates, changed some mechanics. Looks like there's some more updates coming, so I thought, hey, why the hell not? And since this is the premiere, we are doing a double upload, so feel free to watch episode 2, which obviously went up at roughly the same time, I suppose. This is a neat little game for those of you who are not familiar with it. Your grandfather was a, I don't even know how to put it, he was like into some weird alchemy and accidentally opened a rift into the netherworld. I mean, it's a pretty standard story. I know my grandfather did that. My father did that. I'll probably do that too, but here we are coming to reclaim our family's creepy-ass little town. So let's get started.
Up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
And we're going through. We have two little dudes here.
In brutal fashion,
the starting group you get is always the same in this. You start off with a crusader and a highwayman, and then when we get to town, it'll only give us the option to recruit a priest and a plague doctor, which are good. We're gonna play around with that. I've been working on a couple different team setups, so we'll see what goes on there. The advantage of our crusader here is he's a pretty half-decent tank with some stun skills.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
But there's a lot we can be doing, and for those of you who are familiar with the game and do have your own opinions, by all means, feel free to slap up your own builds, I guess, the teams you like to run. And I would love to hear it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask anyone who watches this, let me know what you run. Normally, I like to have a grave robber in here somewhere.
The rightful owner has returned, and is no longer welcome.
I think I generally run Crusader, Hellion, Highwayman, and then a grave robber and a Vestal, so the healing priest. I know there are some people that like having the plague doctor in the 4th healing spot, and then having the Vestal kind of as a 3rd utility area. I can see the benefits of that, but to date I haven't really played around with that too much. I just prefer the straight healing abilities of the priest. So let's see here. We're doing good. Want to keep stunning this guy. This is probably my favorite way to do this stuff, is just keep stunning the boss and having the rest of them just pick everybody off. Crusader luckily has a bonus against Unholy. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a bonus against Eldritch, which is something I kind of thought fell under the Unholy sphere, but I guess I was wrong. Who knows? But yes, the way the story goes is we're here to, I think it's 15 different bosses you have to kill and to reclaim your family's land, and that's what we're currently working on. We'll have to recruit new heroes, explore, upgrade buildings. All in all, this is actually a really cool game. I'm not super into turn-based combat, so it was a little iffy for me, but I think at this point I've logged some 50 hours into the game. Now, recently, not this last update, but I think it was the one before that, you actually had the ability to turn off heart attacks, which is something we'll discuss in a little bit. Completing the quest. Woohoo, we completed the quest. Now, you guys may have noticed there was a chest there. I'm not going to check that out because it's trapped, and that's just gonna hurt my guy, so we're gonna skip over that. There we go, and apparently this last update added Steam achievements, so that's really exciting because I just got a notification that I got a Steam achievement. So, Lurker plus 10% damage if torch is below 26. Not super useful, because we are going to keep the light high. But yes, I guess I should touch on that. For those of you who aren't familiar, anytime you finish a quest, either by running away or completing the conditions, you get a kind of update. Sometimes your guys will get quirks. Some of them are good or some of them are bad. That one's supposedly a good one. He now does more damage if the torch light is low, but that's not something we're really going to strive for. So here's our little town, the Murel estate. I think up here is what's left of my family's manor. We have an abbey, a sanitarium, a tavern, that's important, stagecoach, down here's ancestors' memoirs, we can watch some videos, graveyard, guild, blacksmith, and over here, this guy teaches skills. What we're going to take a look at here is the stagecoach. This is obviously where we recruit new people.
Soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
My favorite thing, I think, and everyone I've talked to who plays this game,
and unrelenting.
The narrator.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
It's very Poe-esque. Here, like I said, you can watch the videos. Both of those have already happened. These haven't been unlocked yet. Probably won't spend too much time there. And then the graveyard, this is where we can go.
Here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
And this is where you see those who have died. And that's the caretaker. He is the biggest pain in the arse. So over here, your heroes can get stressed. The two ways to get rid of stress are sending them to the abbey or sending them to the tavern. In the tavern, they can drink, gamble, and consort with ladies of negotiable affection. And up here we have the abbey, where you can do holy things. And then upgrades happen over here in this area. And then we'll touch on the rest of it kind of as we need. So let's start a quest. We're just going to start the first one.
Work begins.
Pretty standard setup here, the usual suspects. I can't remember what I had set up. It worked really well. This was a while back, but it was like Unstoppable Vengeance or something is what it was named, and I thought that was really cool. But what we're going to do here, I start with some stuff. That's new. We're going to buy ourselves what we need to get through this. So I'm going to bring 1 stack of torches, 1 complete stack of food, and then I already have a holy water, so I'm not going to bring that. But I will bring medicinal herbs and a skeleton key. Now, and a shovel. Now, I know some of you may argue this early on, that's not a necessity, but I do enjoy the bonus loot that stuff can give us. And the added benefit of it is if we don't use it, we sell it back when we get back for, I think it's roughly 50% what we paid for it. So it's one of those, it's kind of like a condom. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But here we are starting our very first quest with this group. Your first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. Now, as we saw there in the map beginning, there are a bunch of different areas. This here is the manor, I believe it's called. And it's quite literally just the ruins of our old house. We'll kind of see some of the backstory. And I'll explain as I go. Down here, this is the map of the dungeon we're in. Probably should have discussed that as we were going through. Oh, look. Lucky us. A new torch. And why are those two stressed out already? I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye out for traps. Anything we can activate as we just kind of go through. I think this one is explore 90% of the rooms. So I think due to the math, we're actually going to have to explore all of them. But now that I've said that, I'm not 100% sure. Now, as we start here, we can see these guys were surprised. That's great. That gives us a full extra turn to start before we do anything. Oh, and I didn't check skills. Oh, but I couldn't have done anything. Anyway, but we'll discuss that later. A lot of the people you recruit, they're going to have different skills starting out, and that can kind of throw you off when you're used to specific skill setups. When you recruit someone new and forget to make sure they have all the skills they need. Anyway, so up here at the top is your torch light, or I guess how bright the place is. The higher the light, the more likely you are to surprise the enemy, and that will give you the full turn before they attack you. And then the lower the light, the harder it is, however, the better the payout. Now, I think I was talking about earlier, corpses and heart attacks used to be able to get turned off. I never really turned off corpses. I did turn off heart attacks from time to time because I really grow attached to my people, which is like rule number 1. Do not get attached to these guys because they're all gonna die. Every single one of them. Period. But let's see. Oh, I'll do that. I don't. Oh no, it does kill them. Anyway, if you crit them, or if they die from bleed out or any other status effect, that's the word I was looking for, they won't leave a corpse. But if they die just from a regular attack, okay, there's going to be another battle in this area. They will leave a corpse, which is something you need to kill. It takes up a... oh, come on.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing
It
passage.
will take a battle spot. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. So it'll still think like there's an enemy there. You won't be able to do anything. Like, if they move up when there's no... I can't even explain what I'm talking about. They'll move up to the open spot if there's no corpse. If there's a corpse there, they won't move up. That becomes important. As you can see here, for example, he can use Plague Grenade in these last two areas. And I'm actually really disappointed because that could have been helpful. But moving on. So, here we are. Oh, and he's resistant to bleed, so that's not going to help us too much. This is our Vestal here. I guess I haven't really explained much. She's our healer class. This guy can do both healing and damage. Ooh, not good. And then these two are mostly damage. He works as a tank. He does damage over time. Stunning blow. Let's stun this son of a bitch. There we go. Now, as we roll over here, you can see their different stats, as well as the resistances down here at the bottom. These guys have 20%, 25% chance. Oh, he actually has a 50% chance to block stun. That's surprising. And then she has similar stats. And then you can also see down under the name what type they are. So these guys are unholy. So Mr. Renault, our Crusader, will do more damage to them than he will to her. Let's see. I'm going to try Plague Grenade again, but I don't know if it... Oh, Mortimer. What am I going to do with you? What am I going to do? Oh, nice. Was that a crit? No, it wasn't. Darn. Now, up until this point, I've been focusing on the Dismas's Open Vein ability. It does a nice amount of damage, and it causes the bleed effect, which on normal enemies, I don't think it affects the skeletons quite as badly. Yeah, 200% resist to bleed, so it doesn't really do a whole lot to them, but obviously it does a damage over time, which is beneficial when fighting some of the harder enemies. Let's just go with a...
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And see, now both of those corpses are there, so we're going to have to get rid of them. Does he have... No, he doesn't. Darn. The Plague Doctor here actually has an attack called, I think it's Noxious Vapor, that will actually clear all corpses, so it is nice to have a Plague Doctor. I do just really enjoy the Grave Robber. I guess they play a slightly different game, but what can you say? What can you say? Damn. Okay, we'll have to do a ranged attack. Now, the way these are set up, for the most part, the most dangerous ones sit in the back. Can he... No. So, that's going to be what you're going to want to focus your ranged people on. So, if we had a Grave Robber, an Arbalest... I'm trying to think what else can hit over there. The Plague Doctor can, to an extent. That Plague Grenade we saw there is a good one, and it stacks really well if you can keep getting them in. Well, let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more rooms left, so let's keep going. I'm going to try and power through this, but we are getting kind of close to the 20-minute mark. I do like keeping my videos around that. I know I'm not really good at it, but let's see. So we have a treasure chest. Let's go up this way. Now, normally, if I was able to,
the light, the promise of safety.
I would explore all the rooms because you get more experience. There's more stuff. You know, you're not running the risk. I think I'm going to try and boogie through and skip one of the rooms if I can. Just time. Just time. I don't like letting these videos drag on too long. And that being said, I also don't want to just kind of stop and be like, hey, we'll finish this dungeon. We may see that happening in later episodes just because it will kind of drag on. Some of these can take quite some time. But for the moment, we don't really have to worry about that, but let's get some healing in here. So we have a human, unholy, and a human. We'll toss a Plague Grenade. Oh, good. Oh, good, good, good. Now, once we... Oh. I guess she resisted it. What's her blight resist? It's only 20%. That's a surprise. But once we can start really upgrading these skills, especially things like Bleed and the Blight, the Plague Grenade, they will start stacking really nicely to the point where it's doing like 12 every turn, even more once they get much higher levels. So that is something we are going to work on. Let's see. Oh, he took quite a hit. I don't know why my Plague Doctor is so stressed out. I think... I really don't want to have to fire him. I'd really prefer not to. Let's see. One thing I will have to do is, I think after this level it will unlock the area where we can give them equipment to upgrade their equipment and their skills. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick skills and we'll kind of talk about that. The next episode will probably be mostly just me going through those screens and explaining why I do what I do and why I have the setups I have. Oh, and corpses do continue to bleed, so that's actually quite nice. I believe they're also affected the same way with Blight. Why are you... Oh, she is lucky. Ooh, that's not good. Not good at all. Actually, how much did that... Perfect. That's what I wanted to do. Grape Shot Blast is one... Yep, it is affected by Blight. But Grape Shot Blast is an attack I do quite enjoy. However, it's not the best, and I find if you end up relying on it too much, you spread out your DPS too much. That was nice because it did get rid of a corpse and killed her. No, that's not gonna work. Okay. But I guess my advice is don't rely on it too much. It's really tempting because you do damage to a bunch of targets, but you're just shooting yourself in the foot. No pun intended, really.
Into the mud.
So let's... A hidden compartment, extra loot, so food, some things for upgrades, and some coins. That's pretty exciting. And we're getting really close to time. This is going to be a longer one. Oh, and I've completely lost track of the light.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
So let's boogie. We haven't
made
come across any traps. Wow. What wonderful timing. I didn't even see that. So I'm saying, I'm thinking, normally there's like a trap in the first section or two. Okay, so let's keep a closer eye out. And that's kind of why I like the Grave Robber. They do have better trap. I don't know if they can just see, or no. I know they have a bonus to disarming, I just don't know if they see them better. Here we go, hunger. So occasionally it will pop up, ask us to eat food, and this is why I brought a full stack, and we actually found like 10. So we are definitely going to eat our hearts out, and I think that will also de-stress them. Now, I don't know if I've talked a whole lot about stress. Down here we see their stress bars. When that hits 100, what'll happen is it just kind of gives them a stress check. If they successfully pass it, they get something called a virtue. They become better people. They're more helpful. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to move you back into place, sir. But yeah, they become more helpful. They are less stress-inducing. They crit more. They're just all in all better to have around. Now, on the flip side of that, if they fail, they get something called an affliction. They will go out of their way to stress each other out. They will pass up on attacking. They'll even pass up on being healed. And when they're almost dead, that is really, 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 really annoying. Like, if your key attacker is one attack away from dying and refuses to heal, and then they turn around and die, oh, it just hurts. It hurts emotionally. And here we go. Come on. You can do it. Go. I think I will play him as a utility character. We'll get the, what is it? Incision. That's his close range melee attack that's quite good. There we go, and see, that's what Plague Grenade is really good for. Now, he only has 5. 3, 6, oh. Sugar. So, she just became afflicted, and she's just going to insult everyone and stress them out. I really hope there's another Vestal when we get back. Traditionally, I don't like just getting rid of them, but that's also because I'm sentimental. Our best course of action really is to completely get rid of her and just hire a new Vestal Priest. But where I did upgrade the Stagecoach network, I think we'll be getting 4 people when we get back to town who are willing to join us. Oh, this is concerning. Didn't he just get stunned? Or did he resist it? No! Oh, that kills me.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Now the positions they're played in, I've kind of touched on it. Great is the weapon that cuts on its own. But, yeah, the positions, as you can see down here, and I should have touched on it, you see the little dots. That shows what position those attacks can be used in, and what position those attacks can hit. So, for example, the healing can only happen in the last 2 slots. Most of these guys' attacks can only happen in the first 2. Oh, I thought I hit smite. Damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Too busy yakking when I should be hacking. Get it? I like hack and slash. Okay. Never claimed to be funny. Actually, now that I've said that, I've probably claimed to be funny in a number of episodes, so I apologize for lying to you. I really do. So there we go. Final battle is done. If I'm not mistaken, we've explored enough of the rooms. Yes, thank God. We are going to continue adventuring because I do want this chest. Use the key to get the extra loots. And we got a bust. And not the kind of bust you're thinking. But here we are. Back at town, we're going to take a look at the result of our quest. We've gotten Blightstone, plus 20 Blight skill chance. That's actually pretty good. I'll probably slap that on my Plague Doctor. Then we get more upgrades, as well as 3,000 gold, and then these are all our collected treasures. That's what's being sold back for a total of that much money. And then we have actually quite a few things we can use to upgrade the buildings. Now we'll take a look here. Renault is Nymphomania. Wonderful. So more stress healed in the Braffle. Phenophobia. Plus 20 stress damage if torch above 75. Well, shit. Okay. Clotter, great. He has extra bleed resistance. She is compulsive, intense need to do specific actions. That's going to be a pain. And then Weapon Tinker, minus 20% upgrade cost. We're probably going to get rid of her, and then depending on who we can see at the Stagecoach Network, we may try to get Dismas healed. That being said, we are way over 20 minutes, and I do apologize. That being said, if you're still interested, click the link below and move on to episode 2, or check out our website, www.redhotgamers.co.uk. You can also check me out on Twitter at GamingWithMurel, and on any number of sites I frequent, such as IndieDB and all the other fun stuff. Once again, I do want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.